Ratchet and Clank walkthrough, so we will be leaving this world today and going to the world of which the name I can't remember, but I will see as soon as I enter the ship. Now the first thing I kind of wanted to show was how if you want to get back to your ship here, it's really easier just to die than it is to try to jump over all of these platforms, but you can do this if you want to, I guess. You can also use the suck cannon to suck in people and shoot them off, but as you can see there, doing that kind of sprint jumping didn't do me a whole lot of good. Now you can just jump right back into the ship here if you want to, or you can go back to those platforms, but I cut that part out because we want to get on our way to Nebula G34, so that's the map, or that's the name of this planet. Now the space station has a few interesting places, and this is probably one of the hardest actual planets in this game. At least there's a part on it that I had one of the most problems with, and I didn't have hardly as many issues with this part, or I didn't have nearly as many issues in the rest of the game as I did with this part. But luckily that's not in this video, that'll be in the next video. And it really ties into the whole, this game was made before checkpoints were invented, which I said earlier. Strangely, the longer this game goes, the more checkpoints they give you. And I think it's so weird, you almost get none at the beginning of the game, but at the end of the game, they're almost every other section, so oh well. So this station has a few new things. You have to hit these kind of electric balls to shut down these gates, and there's also going to be a couple of holes and doorways that you can walk into. Now the one we'll be going into is the Trespasser right here. Now when you do these Trespasser menus, you just need to match up these lights, and I just put an overlay of what it needs to look like because you don't need to see me messing around trying to get it to fix it, so you can just go back and pause that if you want to see it, and then all you have to do is walk out here. Now since there's no oxygen in space, Ratchet can't breathe there, and Clank is a robot. He doesn't need oxygen, so you have to play as him. Now this will be a common recurrence throughout this game from this point onward, where a planet will be incapable for Ratchet to play on his own, or with, yeah, it'll be incapable of, okay, it won't let you play as Ratchet in that level, and sometimes you can't play as Clank. Most of the time you can get an upgrade that will allow both of them to come back later, but for this part it won't really matter. And I guess there's probably like a golden bolt somewhere, so if you wanted to find it, you'd have to come back as Ratchet, I'm sure, but anyway. So glide on down here, and you'll want to take care of these frogs, and I found that taking care of these frogs is easier if you just walk right up and just punch them if you're really aggressive with them. If you try to kind of sneak up and then turn around and let them attack you first, that's when I always got hit, but I always did best when I just walked straight up, punched them, and that was the end of it. And then this platform, which kind of reminds me of a, what is it, Rainbow Road, because it's so narrow, that is actually where I died the first time on this planet. So that cut you saw, that transition you saw earlier with Clank was because I was cutting out my death there. And if you die here, you just go back to the beginning where you spawned with Clank. Not a big deal because it's not very far to get to this place. Now, the whole reason we're coming here is to get the Hydrodisplacer, which won't come into use on this planet, but will come into major use on later planets. And we also get to have our first meeting with these tiny robots and one of the worst enemies in this game, which are those weird snake guys that just, no matter what you do, they seem to always hit you, and there's almost no way to dodge them, and they're what makes this world one of the hardest that I've had so far. But that's not to say the game really is particularly hard. I mean, it's got its moments, but it's not Dark Souls hard, which is obvious. Anyway, so with these little robots, taking out that guy is pretty easy. You could just have to push and hold triangle and then give him a command. In that case it was attack, and then you can just have him take it out, and then you don't have to worry about it. Then you'll see a little house here that you'll have to send all four into, so if one of these robots managed to die, then you'll want to go back and pick them up again. And once the force field is down, you can walk on in and pick up the Hydrodisplacer. And then you'll get a little shortcut. So as the female robot's going to be telling us here, the Hydrodisplacer will pick up faucets and drains and be able to suck up water, drain different places with water, and then be able to put the water back in another place or right in the same place. And that will be demonstrated a lot better when I actually get to it. So try not to fall off here, but that is a pretty cool view. I mean, this game, for how old it is, it's got some pretty cool views in it. And then you'll just want to make your way back to the ship, and that'll be it for my narration in this video.
I'm back.
So you are.
And I found this.
Hey, cool. It's what is it?
A Hydrodisplacer.
Great. I always wanted one of those. I guess.